Last night's breaking news video about the Chechen leader, Putin's attack dog, being placed into a coma, maybe even a poison-induced coma, certainly had some revelations in it, didn't it? Now we know that Romania has come out in the open, backed by NATO, saying that they will shoot down any Russian drones, aircraft, or any type of weaponry that moves across Romanian borders. This is an escalation because we see Romania now standing up to Russia, openly saying that they know Russia has sent their drones into Romania. They know that they could attack Russia right now with all of the backing of NATO, but they're saying that they're taking a stance that Romania will now shoot down Russian drones and they'll shoot down Russian fighter jets if they do it again. This was stated by the deputy chief of the Romanian Defense Staff, one of the generals there. And according to him, Romania deployed hundreds and hundreds of new servicemen, new radar systems, and new weapon systems into the Delta region in readiness for a conflict with Russia. Now, this might be the first time that we have seen new technology being acknowledged in the use in the theater of war. The U.S. has provided Ukraine out in the open now with an industrial-sized 3D printer. They'll use this to print spare parts for equipment that breaks down or that needs maintenance. Ukrainians completed their training with it last week, according to the Defense Department and an acquisition chief. Now, this is huge because it's showing you that we are moving toward a more technological war. The Middle Eastern wars, those were fought with missiles and bullets and overwhelming firepower. Look what's saving the day right now. Look what's causing the most chaos. It's drones. Sometimes it's the same drones that I fly for my own surveillance. Sometimes it's the same drones that you have access to out on the street. They're strapping weapons to them, and these are taking down massive amounts of equipment. Now, France is really starting to heat things up in Niger after the ambassador said that, or the French president, Emmanuel Macron, said that the French ambassador to Niger is being held hostage against his will in the embassy for France. They say that France's envoy to Niger is living as a hostage in the French embassy. They've accused the military there of blocking food deliveries to the missions there. The ambassador is living off of military rations, or MREs, meals that are ready to eat. Macron is telling reporters that as we speak, there's an ambassador and entire diplomatic staff who is being held as a hostage in the French embassy by the military, what they consider the illegal military takeover or coup of Niger. They're preventing food deliveries, he said, in apparent reference to the new military rulers. They are eating military rations. Now, the military leaders there told the French ambassador that they had to leave the country after they overthrew the president, Mohamed Bazoum, on July 26th. A 48-hour ultimatum for him to leave passed, with him still in place in the embassy. The French government refused to comply. They refused to recognize the military regime, as they call it. Remember, you call it an administration if they're your buddies. You call it a regime if they're not, as legitimate. Now, it was a coup. The coup has been condemned by France and multiple Western countries, most of Niger's neighbors. Macron said that the envoy cannot go out. They are persona non grata. They're being refused food and access to life-saving things. And Macron says that he will do whatever is necessary as president to make sure that this is changed, even militarily. There's 1,500 soldiers of France in Niger. Any redeployment will be negotiated through the France government. And if they deploy new soldiers into Niger, that is another war on another country, on another continent that we are going to see really heat things up in our world. Now, Macron has rejected a call to remove different positions there. They say that a provocation like this has never been seen before. The entire EU will not recognize authorities that seize power in Niger. Now, this is an impoverished country. They know that they are having their own form of suffering. They say there's an epidemic of military takeovers in the region. Now, over in India, right now we see authorities rushing to close down, quarantine, condemn, and contain a deadly virus outbreak. A state there in one of the southern Indian regions is taking measures to contain an outbreak of a virus after multiple people were left dead, others injured from a rare and fatal disease. They shut down schools. They're testing thousands of people. The chief minister there says that this virus has been detected in one of the state's districts. They're urging their residents to exercise immediate and the utmost amount of caution. These people are going out from the virus. It's the fourth outbreak since 2018. We are even seeing other people say that it's China that put this in India. Now, a quote says, "We should not be afraid," which again, if they say don't be afraid, you got to think about it a little bit. They say we should not be afraid, but we should face this situation with caution. Now, the virus they're looking at is a zoonotic virus. At least that's how it starts. It's transmitted from animals to humans. It's also transmitted between humans directly from food or directly from people. Infection causes severe disease, and according to multiple health outlets, symptoms begin with a headache or tiredness. They can quickly transform into a coma in just a matter of days. It causes acute respiratory syndrome, or ARS. The lungs don't get enough body. Fatal encephalitis takes place, inflammation of the brain. Now, you might be like me and you say, okay, I know that these jokers are doing really nasty things across our world. So what can I do as an individual? Well, I have a pulse oximeter in my house. What's that? A pulse oximeter, through infrared technology, measures the amount of blood going through your finger. If your lungs aren't getting enough oxygen, your blood is going to tell you in your finger. So you can say, okay, is this something serious or is it not really affecting my whole of body? Also, you need to have a thermometer. We have a friend who had a fever the other day, and I said, oh, go take your temperature. She couldn't. Doesn't even have a thermometer in her house. Something like 30 to 40% of our population don't have access to at-home things that they can use to check their vitals, that they can use to take care of themselves. Now, you also have to have knowledge. We send out survival cards every month. This is one of them talking about rashes. Now, on the back, we write our survival tip. It says a rash that does not whiten or blanch under pressure occurs from bleeding in the small blood vessels into the skin or mucosa. Using a clear glass, this is like a shot glass, you can press against the rash to see if it whitens. Most people with a non-blanching or non-whitening rash who are well will not have any serious underlying condition. Basically, it's no big deal, according to medical science. However, in many cases, a viral illness is the final diagnosis for a small number of non-blanching rashes that can be caused by a more significant problem like meningococcal sepsis. It also can be caused by different malignancies. Now try clear glass blanching on your skin, and if the skin of your group members, if any of them suffer this sort of rash, make sure that you have this ability and knowledge. Get them to a nurse, whoever your group nurse is, and you can see what you need for secondary care. People just don't know what to do. They don't know how to take care of themselves anymore. We can do it ourselves. Joe Biden just spoke about the auto workers strike. He was very clear in what the U.S. government believes here. This is a quote from Joe Biden. I believe they should go further to ensure record corporate profits. Then he changed course. He said that was a mistake. And what he meant to say was they, the auto workers on strike, should create record contracts. Well, in the contracts, they want a 40% increase in hourly pay. They want reduced work weeks. They want faster paths to getting up in position, top pay. They want cost of living adjustments. They want 5 weeks of vacations, more paid holidays, more paid parental leave. But what the government wants is corporations to get more profits. Now, we are seeing Citigroup, a major banking organization, start to lay off people. They're in talks right now after management overhauls, with sources going to Reuters, saying they're embarking on a sweeping reorganization. Support staff is going to be knocked out. Multiple people in management are going to lose their job. And let me tell you, when the banks start firing people, That's where trickle-down economics really comes into play. When the people up here start firing people, that's when Target, Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, McDonald's, police departments, fire departments, ambulances, hospitals, everywhere else start to say, you know what, we have to fire our people too. It's coming, guys. Your money, worthless. We're already seeing it happen. We already know that to go to the store and to buy the things that you need. I'll give you a prime example. This is a memory card. This used to cost 30% less. What else? Lint roller. Used to cost about 20% less. Turmeric. Used to cost about 20% less. So that means this $10 bill worth about $8. That's if you're lucky. Soon, we're not going to be lucky anymore. Speaking of times that we are lucky in other times of uncertainty, as you may have seen recently, the Bernalillo County Sheriff, he announced that he will not be enforcing the Mexico government's new concealed carry, open carry ban. He says it's unconstitutional. This order will not do anything to curb gun violence other than punish law-abiding citizens from their constitutional right to self-defense. He continues, I have a fact for you. Criminals do not follow the law. They do not follow public health orders. Never seen it. We will never, he continues, see criminals follow the law. This isn't going to start magically because they take away your rights, because they take away your abilities. And isn't it funny how they divide us as humans so much that if you take away one person's rights, like a mother or a mother-to-be, how that's not okay. Or how it is okay to take away her rights, but not to take away constitutional carry rights. It's them versus you. That's where it is. It's nowhere else. It's not them versus each other. It's them versus you. And I've been asked over and over again, Brad, what do you think is going to happen in the long term? Well, the long term is you're living like all the books told us you would. You're a servant, a slave to their system. Please, sir, can I have another? Is what you'll say when they kick you in the face. That's the future that will unfold, or, and this is where it gets really scary, or you see civil war. Now, 60-some% of Americans believe a civil war is coming. That should tell you, as an individual, that you've got to get your together, and you've got to say, well, then I better be ready. Because if 6 out of 10 people believe it's going to come, that's some sort of either foreboding, foreshadowing, or at least everybody just knows what time it is. You know, we all look at that great ball in the sky falling below the horizon and we say, it's nighttime. It's about to be nighttime. We all feel that and we all see the same thing. Nobody looks at that as it's a half crescent on the horizon and says, man, isn't this a beautiful morning? No, we all know it's nighttime. And just like that, everybody knows that it's time for civil unrest and nobody wants it. I don't want it. You don't want it. This is going to be a time of extreme hardship for our families, but they know what time it is. We have to wake up to that and we have to do what we can to get ready. Build a group, love your family, hug your kids, stock your pantry, learn self-defense, go camping, hunt and fish or garden. Do it now. Your time is probably running out. Thank you guys for being here with us today and every day. I hope that you'll join us back tomorrow for